Behind the Badge, brought to you by Big O Tires.
So for deadly mass shootings like this, how Utah police and paramedics respond has aggressively changed, they say, to better save lives. Some agencies like Unified Police and Unified Fire send in paramedics so quickly, it's almost like going into an active military zone. They told me how they pull it off in today's Behind the Badge.
We have 2 kids that we don't know where they are.
Responding to mass shootings. Like that of last weekend's deadly mall shooting in Texas.
We got shots fired at the young wall.
Or the school shooting this spring in Nashville. Police and paramedics know how quickly they arrive could determine how many victims live or die.
There's a window that we have between the time somebody receives an injury and we get them to the hospital that we can increase their chances of survival.
Unified Police Sergeant Melody Cutler says Utah police want to avoid national massacres like last May's 77-minute delay confronting a killer at an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas, which contributed to the deaths of 19 children and 2 teachers. That's why Unified and other police departments in the Salt Lake Valley send in paramedics with police before the scene is completely clear.
Our goal is to hopefully have medics in that building within 15 minutes of the time that call came in.
Responders create what they call a rescue task force, where paramedics strap on ballistic vests and helmets and go in with armed officers in trainings like this to render aid in what's considered a warm zone, after the shooter is contained, but not before the threat is over.
They're finding victims, taking care of the victims. Law enforcement is there to help safeguard and protect us.
Unified Fire Health and Safety Battalion Chief Brett Fossum says the practice of sending paramedics in early began roughly 10 years ago and took some getting used to.
It's definitely a mind shift. It's a different narrative than what we've primarily done.
Inspired by mass shootings like Virginia Tech in 2007 or Aurora, Colorado in 2012, Utah responders say they knew waiting to send in medical aid couldn't happen here.
There had to be something done. There had to be a change in how we respond.
When we've staged and waited for law enforcement to clear that scene, a lot of times you have about 30 to 40 minutes that you can affect care, and anything after that, the survival rate plummets.
They say Utah's Trolley Square shooting in 2007 may not be the last time Utah faces a mass shooter. And if time has taught us the importance of responding faster, then we also need to know it could happen again, not just threats or hoaxes.
It's happened throughout the valley, and it happens more often than people actually think.
For Unified first responders, that means wearing different hats. They may need to protect themselves in a dangerous situation we haven't seen in years. Now, Unified isn't the only ones doing this response here in Utah. In fact, they regularly train for this with a number of agencies across the Salt Lake Valley. So when the time arrives, it doesn't matter where it happens, they can all pull it off.